in your rent reporting once you launch the program? What are some of the things that you?
I'm gonna keep it short because they did give us
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But the reality is we learned a lot about our organization and the people that live there in terms of how many of those that are digitally engaged, and saw that a third party launching an email invite just got no traction. We learned what percentage of our residents were actually even using emails and accessing emails or had emails.
Yeah.
We have 40% of monolingual Spanish speaking population, and the third party provider only has an invitation page in English. That's a challenge.
Yeah.
And so making it accessible when we have Spanish speaking and Amharic speaking members that in order to sign off on doing something like that should be able to do it in their own language. How do we bridge that? And then, also looking at, on top of that, a lot of people that are unbanked and not associated with banking are still taking cash to the money order spot and buying money orders. And so they're just not engaging in the traditional way. So it's a system that's not really completely ready for those that are not as far down the road on the continuum of being digitally engaged. So there was a form of digital justice that we had to realize we should have planned for. So we learned, we cart before the horse on the rent reporting. The rent reporting is great, but it's gonna require some evangelism to get people to understand what it is, why they should do it, and then how to get digitally engaged. We might have to help people actually get email addresses and get connected to our providers so that they can actually be able to pay electronically. So there's so many steps in order for this to really be successful. It has to have a champion that is going to be in it for the long haul, because they're not just going to be able to say, here's this great opportunity, and people are going to be able to jump this and start getting outcomes. It really has to be about understanding what are the challenges and barriers. And then we also have a significant amount of our residents that don't know if they're eligible for something like this based on their immigration status. And so there's just so many things to consider to really make it successful. And so those are the things that we learned once we tried to do it, to see that we actually have to back this card up and make sure that we're able to reach people where they are, because they still deserve this opportunity, but we may need to put in the work to make sure that they can actually access it.
And I hear you there, because we have that same, challenge on the mortgage side, right? When we're working with a lot of people, they don't use the computer. A lot of what we have now is automated. Go online, put your application in, in the system. So that is absolutely challenges and barriers that we face also. And I hear you when you said we need to partner, and we absolutely do, from every avenue, so that we can provide those opportunities to homeowners.
And I think we also need to understand that we primarily serve a population that has experienced lots of predatory situations in the financial sector. So the way they are not trusting of providing their information. So the way that we got people to be receptive to an email was like, no.
Right.
We sent Justin to show up to one of the buildings one day. He came back with 4 people enrolled. It was like, they know him. So the trusting relationship is part of that bridging. We're supposed to think when somebody says bridging, right?
Yeah.
So we wind up being the bridge because we have the trusting relationship with people.
And we find it too, right? We do a lot of first-time homebuyer workshops because a lot of people are not trusting just to go online, or and it just depends. We got 5 minutes left.
Is that 5 hours or 5
No,
minutes?
that means 5 minutes, and I haven't even given the audience a chance to ask a question. Sorry, we really have gone over time. Let me ask this question to Eric.